to welcome everyone to the State of the City address hosted by the Mansfield Area Chamber of Commerce. We want to thank everyone for taking time to spend with us on this very important occasion. We've got a new year. We have a new chairman of our board, which is Bobby Clark, who is a partner in El Primo's and CFO with Southern Packaging.
Yes.
And so he needs more to do. So, right. So I'm going to turn it over to Bobby and let him introduce our speaker.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks, Lori. Happy to serve in the role of chairman and ready for a new year. I'd like to first acknowledge our board members that are present here today. We also have some of our legislative committee in attendance at the chamber today. Now for our program by our Mayor, Michael Evans. We're excited to hear your message and look forward to this year. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Laura, thank you so much, and all those who are in the room with us. Today, it is my privilege to present to you the State of the City 2020. And I want you to know that Joe Smolinski would surely be here with us, but Joe is not feeling well today. So we want to make a shout out to him. We appreciate him, but we are good. And the fact that we've got Shelley Landers here with us and Nicolette Allen. So we are in good company, and Chief Mike Lehman. So if you should hear Mike asking questions and I continue to move on, just kind of overlook it. We're going to be in good shape, and I'll answer his questions after the presentation. So let's talk a little bit about Mansfield. What a crazy year we had. When we look back at all that took place this year, without a doubt, was the biggest pivot of our lifetimes. I mean, period. It was. You think about it, January the 21st, the CDC confirmed the first case of COVID-19 in the United States. We really didn't know what it was at that time, but then the bottom dropped out on us as April the 1st, Governor Greg Abbott issued the first stay-at-home executive order in Texas history. And we know how crazy that is because we're Americans. We don't like to be told anything, and I'm right along with that bunch. But of course, things did change for us, and we had to pivot. These were unprecedented times. We know that. We closed in the city our senior citizens, a senior center, also our playground, even City Hall closed, if you would, schools, offices, restaurants, businesses, and much more. But the good news is, and I am happy to announce the fact that Mansfield kept pressing. It didn't stop us. We continue to move forward, and it says a lot about the spirit that is Mansfield, Texas. So for 24 hours every day, around the clock, the services that we rendered to our citizens, it was nonstop. When you dial 911, there were emergency responses. Hallelujah. Water treatment, the water kept coming out of the taps. Our street operations, we know that because either the right lane was closed or the left lane was closed. So we know that the work continued moving forward. Our administration protocols, inspections, you name it, waters, even our schools. Our school district even shut down. But again, the city of Mansfield kept on moving because it says a lot about who we are. But not just, if you would, city functions, but the people, our residents did an outstanding job. When you think about it and all the work that we were called to do, the volunteer work and all of those things, we had over 21,000, say it again, 21,000 volunteer hours. Simply amazing. That means that we band together, whether it was churches, schools, food pantries, other nonprofits, we all band together to make sure that people were taken care of. We delivered meals to our senior citizens. We cleaned up trash. You know that throughout the city, those essential workers, they really are and really were essential. And we learned really what that meant and what that means even today. I think about the way that we came together even for our veterans. We owe them the honor that they all received. We even put out placards and signs, and we attempted to make contact with every veteran in the city of Mansfield. Many of you know that we are working to build a veterans memorial, and you'll hear more about that in 2021. We're going to need you to help us to make that happen. But I want you to look and think about the accomplishments that we had. We survived. We are survivors here in Mansfield and really our country. But the accomplishments, our city continued to grow. Mansfield continued to grow. Now, when I came to Mansfield, it was 1989. Our population was 15,000. And now here we are, 2020, 2021, over 75,000. We transitioned from that rural town now to a suburban, even ex-urban place and point where people want to live. And that's important. Our tax rate was lowered 2 cents. From 71 cents to 69 cents. That was a huge feat. And not only that, but we did something that we had not ever done for the first time with the help of our city council and our city manager and staff. We passed a 10% exemption for qualified home buyers. Yes, a homestead exemption. And that is simply mind-boggling. And I want you to know, we're still working on even doing more. Now, know this, if you have calculators out, of course, you know what that means. It means that, those ad valorem taxes, which account for about 58% of our city's revenue, well, less came in. But think about the awesome staff that we have here in our city. And just think about the spirit that is the citizens and residents of Mansfield, Texas. Because even though we had to make some adjustments, we learned how to do more with less. What does that look like? Well, we hired 4 police officers. We hired a firefighter. Awesome. Something else that was a first for us in regard to the Fitch rating system. We scored AAA rating in our utility funds and AAA in our drainage funds. And listen, here's a big surprise. Who knew that our sales tax would go up? But you know what? We want to thank you for that. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your pantry at your house, and I want you to open up those doors, and I want you to look at all that toilet paper that you bought, and all of that paper, those paper towels, and all of the Clorox wipes. You did that. You helped our sales tax to go up 14%. So listen, we want you to keep on doing that, keep on buying. But listen, save some toilet paper for somebody. I'm just saying, but you need to know that our sales tax rate went up. And again, we thank our local grocers. We thank the mom and pops around here who kept us moving, and they took good care of us. One other thing that you need to know about, and it's important that I state it this way, that because of the CARES funds, because of the CARES Fund and the CARES Fund Act, we were able to equip all of our city parks and our city spaces with public Wi-Fi. Many people were a bit confused as to where those dollars came from, but we thank Uncle Sam, the Trump administration, for making that happen. So that's how we were able to receive those dollars for that. So again, as our city continued to grow, development continued here in Mansfield. Let's look at some of the numbers. Now, numbers can be boring, but I want you to understand something. We had over 30,167 inspections. That's awesome. That's saying that our people continue to punch in and get the work done. We could not be stopped by a pandemic, and that is outstanding. We issued over 5,100 permits, and even to date, we either built or have under construction or on contract over 7,000 single-family homes. And here's the gold nugget. Over 27%, right there at it, 27% of our city is still undeveloped. Now, that's huge. That's huge. And again, it makes Mansfield an attractive place to be, because we get to put a bridle on that pony and ride it. And we get the opportunity to make Mansfield that place where people just want to come. So know that that's a gold nugget. All right. Also, in regard to development, as it continued, we completed infrastructure in Mansfield International Business Park. That's commerce. We issued construction permits for 220,000 square feet of a global brand fulfillment center. I can't say the name, but it's coming. We need to let that ink dry just a little bit, but you'll be hearing a lot about it. 220,000 square feet. That's huge. Not only that, but the Nixon Industrial began construction on 2 25,000 square feet light industrial office warehouses. And Cellmark, who's been a long partner here in Mansfield, a distribution center, they broke ground as well in 2020, over 33,000 square feet of expansion. And in regard to clean industry and tech jobs, we've recruited Strawman Inc., and they're going to create over 725 jobs in the next 10 years. That's what's going on in our city. And we're continuing. I mean, just look at our cityscape. If you can see the slide in front of you. I mean, we've got South Point that is booming and doing an outstanding job. We've got urban living, M3 ranch. Note the diversity in regard to our buildingscape now here in Mansfield. What used to be that sleepy town, we're not that anymore. The Sydney, Shops at Broad, the Haven, and the list continues. It goes on and on. And something that we all get to celebrate here and did celebrate in 2020 was the opening of Spring Hill Suites and Texas Health Mansfield Hospital. Now you need to know how big a deal that is in opening up that second hospital. Number one, both hospitals in Mansfield, because of our present crisis, are full. I remember a time when our former city manager, Clayton Chandler, had the hardest time attempting to convince people to open one hospital, and that being Methodist. And now here we are these many years later, not even a decade later, to where we have two hospitals. And as I mentioned earlier, both of them are full. I think that says a lot about our growth and why Mansfield is that place you want to be. But also opening up in 2020, if you just drive down West Broad Street, where I spend most of my time at the Bethlehem Church, you will pass a man's best field dog park. What you need to know about that, if you get there late, and I mean, if you get there about 6:30, you probably won't have a place to park. That park is full, and folks are having a good time and just enjoying nature. And then while you're there, step back into time at the Mann House Museum. I had the opportunity to tour that. Been passing it for years. As a matter of fact, been passing that home for about 31 years. My poor wife, after the restoration took place, she asked, "Where did that come from?" I was like, "Honey, it's been there for 30 years. As a matter of fact, it's been there 130 years, dear. But listen, it is something to behold. If you're a history lover, and even if you're not, I think the mastery in building that place is just mind-boggling. And I tell you what, I'm sure hoping that we're building homes like that today here in Mansfield. And you're going to hear more about that as well. And a longtime friend of the Mansfield Park system, Harold Bell Park, was opened up. We appreciate you, Harold. Harold spent 24 years on that parks board, and he's just a known commodity around town. Plus, we added 1.35 miles to our beautiful linear trail. And I want you to know that we're continuing to add to that trail. And you're going to hear more about that in time to come. So you know what? There's a dirty word that many of us don't like, and it's the term change. As a matter of fact, I don't even use it. I say transition because it's something about change that makes people nuts. But I bring you good news in regard to change, transition here in our city. I would be remiss not to thank Clayton Chandler for his more than 30 years of service to our city. I would be remiss not to thank David Cook and our council and past councils for the outstanding work that they've done. But I want you to know they have left us in mighty good hands. Joe Smolinski, who has served our city for some 20 years, now has stepped up to the helm, and he is serving as our city manager. And I want you to know we haven't missed a step. Matter of fact, Joe's doing an outstanding job. And then we added 3 persons on council, individuals who are joining in with our already very capable city council to help to make things happen. We're listening to you, and I want you to know that to a person on that council, we have your best interests at heart. So we appreciate, again, the election of Tamara Bounds, of Todd Tenora, me, Michael Evans, but I want you to know we learned real quick that we're part of an awesome team. So we're called to adapt, every one of us. I mean, we are in this new normal. As a matter of fact, what is normal even going to look like when we finally are able to shed the mask? I want you to know I do have a mask. But what is that going to look like? Well, as a city, we have done just that. We have been adapting. We have been doing the very best we can to make this a place where you can live and you can play. What did that look like in 2020? Well, We kept on celebrating. I mean, we did. We had our hometown holidays in the downtown area. We celebrated music and fine arts here in Mansfield. And you know what? People are going to learn just how cultured we are in the city of Mansfield because we've got a whole lot on tap. But I want you to know that even in the midst of this storm, we still were able to have a good time, and you were a part of that, and we thank you for it. And stay tuned. We are on the grow. That's what I'm saying. Now, something near and dear to my heart. People who know me know that I'm just a neighborhood guy. You know, I am. And we started new programs in 2020. And one of them is our neighborhood services, where we are able to actually engage the community. Now, we've been doing that. You know, we're not just starting that, but it's good to put a label on it. And it's also a good thing because as we have our neighborhood leadership roundtable, we're bringing together our HOA leaders and leadership. Why? Because we know that we need to listen to our residents. I mean, you are the people invested. You're the stakeholders. We must give you our ear. And I want you to know that we're sensitive to that. Also, we have the My Mansfield internship. Listen, we have the top school district in the country, period. Hands down. Now, I'm not saying that because I was on the board for 10 years. You know, it kind of helped. But anyway, we have outstanding leadership. Dr. Kim Cantu has come in and she's taken hold to the reins of our school district in a tumultuous time, and she's doing an outstanding job. She's like a surfer. She's surfing the waves, and she's doing a great job. She hasn't been knocked down yet. So I want you to know that we are inviting our interns, our young people into the city. We've got a lot of folks out there who will do well to major in liberal arts. Do that. It works for you. And we also have My Mansfield University. We want our citizens to be a part of a group or cohort of people that can really learn how our city works. You need to know that we're doing some spectacular things here in Mansfield. So I want to just throw out a plug for them. You know, sign up for that and be a part of those classes. And then we have Tarrant County Home Repair Program right here in Mansfield. You know, I've been with Habitat for Humanity for the 15 or so years that it's been here in Mansfield. We've been building and rehabbing homes, and many of our citizens have been a part of that. A lot of folks don't know, but when we call in the real professionals to do some of the subcontracting work, we usually call individuals who live and work right here in Mansfield. Habitat, for example, has invested right at about $1 million, $2 million into those local businesses. But now we're going to take up the hammer and join in with them, partnering, and we're going to help to keep Mansfield beautiful. That's important. This next slide, I kind of want you to catch it, if you would. I know where we are right now. I know that our numbers in regard to the COVID-19 infection rate are going up. But you know what? I can see the sun peeping through the clouds. We're in 2021. We ought to have a fresh outlook, enthusiastic about what's coming. So let's talk a little bit about that, a little bit about what's coming. Our library expansion is coming. Our library community outreach program, where we are actually taking the library to the people. I mean, we're actually doing that. We're actually packing it up, and we're going to go from neighborhood to neighborhood, and we're going to help you to see the wealth that is in our library. And also, you will continue to see park improvements. We have a huge water tower and a clear well construction that's taking place right now, right here in Mansfield. It's going to hold millions of gallons of water. It's kind of good to have you on water. We are building the information center for the Mann House Museum. That's actually under construction now. And my gosh, for those individuals who have had any dealing with Daymire Road, I bring you real good news. We're going to start construction. We're finally going to start constructing Daymire Road. And it's going to happen. Listen, it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And we're opening up fire station number 5, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, but we're working toward building our police and fire training facility. Again, it's a growing city, and that's who we are. That's what's going on. And we're going to start, as I mentioned earlier, our neighborhood outreach. And I want you, all of you realtors out there, come and be a part of our annual Realtors Breakfast. You'll be hearing more about that, so stay tuned. And we have got to continue the revitalization effort and development of downtown. Our historic downtown serves as the heartbeat of what is Mansfield. It is the character of our city, and we want to make sure that we have it hopping and popping down here. Let me tell you something. I believe in my heart, hopefully, that by July or August, that we'll be out of this pandemic storm. And listen, if you live near the downtown area, if you work in the downtown area, have a shop in the downtown area, you be ready to adjust your hours, because we're going to be having a good time down here into the wee hours of the night. So get ready for that. We are definitely planning to make that happen. And finally, we can announce, and this is an awesome thing. So hold your seats. You've heard the whispering about us building a convention center and all of that. But we don't have to whisper anymore, because it's going to happen. We are celebrating the Stillwater development, 200 plus acres of a master plan development, and know that some of that building is taking place now off East Broad. So you can see it going up, and with that in mind, get in quick. Don't wait too late, because we know that is going to fill up. So we're looking for office tenants, or they are, but we are too, because it helps the whole city. We're excited about that. We're excited about having space where we can build a convention center and a convention center hotel, and we're going to have a skyscraper in Mansfield. Well, no. but listen, a 4-story or maybe 5-story office building, that's a skyscraper for us. But we're excited about that, and we want you to get in on that. We are already working to attract an anchor restaurant, and it's going to be beautiful. Can you just imagine in Mansfield, Texas, a city mall area? There may even be municipal space there. So I don't know where you kind of traveled around, but if you've been to places like Sugar Land, the Woodlands, Frisco, to name a few, yeah, that's us. That's Mansfield. And get ready, be a part of that. You want to do that. But I learned something, that without a vision, you really you aren't shooting for anything. Now, let me say this, and I want to say it real carefully. We would not be who we are today if our founding mothers and fathers here in Mansfield didn't have a vision. They did have a vision. With change and transition comes the need to revisit priorities. So we sent out a citizen feedback survey. And we need to hear from you, because you know what? We're going to have to craft a vision statement for Mansfield 2021 and beyond. We've got to craft that. We are appreciating those who have brought us along the way. We appreciate them. Our former city manager, our former councils and mayors, city staff, we appreciate them. We would not be where we are today without them. But now it is time for us to move to another step, another level. So we're hearing from you. Council, the mayor, we're getting together in February for a huge goal-setting event. It's going to be us. We're going to be locked in a room together. And we're going to craft a vision statement that you will get to see in March. And it's coming out. We're going to debut that, because we are so concerned about what our future is going to look like. Remember, 21% of our city is still undeveloped, and you get to be a part of that dream. Whether it's a crafting a land use strategy, whatever that is, you're going to be part of that. Now listen, if you didn't receive a city feedback survey, know that they have gone out. I know they have because my youngest son, who's 23 years old, he received one. And like a good dad, I sat down on side of him and told him everything that he should say on that report. And it was all great. So, for those, if you don't have a dad looking over your shoulder, but listen, I know that Mansfield is that great place. So understand this. As we move forward, when you think about Mansfield and you think about the state of our city, know this, that we are strong, that we are vibrant, and the city of Mansfield, ladies and gentlemen, is not only on the go, but we are on the grow, and we want you to be a part of it. Thank you so very much. My name is Michael Evans. I appreciate the privilege and the honor to serve as your mayor. Have a good day.